Flight attendants rejected an offer from American Airlines for an immediate 17% pay raise and changes to profit sharing, with the union president saying they're holding out for a long-term deal. Flight attendants have not received a pay bump since prior to the pandemic. According to Reuters, the Association of Professional Flight Attendants is seeking a 33% raise. Talks between American and the union are set to continue in Washington next week. Let's take a look at shares of American Airlines, up just about 0.75%. 1162. It's been a pretty rough go, though, for American in comparison to their rivals in the sector. There you can see year to date down more than 14%. They're not alone, though, Kristen. United and Alaska also trying to renegotiate contracts for flight attendants, which could be a major issue in summer travel.
Right. So for these particular flight attendants, reportedly, they haven't received pay raises since before the pandemic. They haven't renegotiated the contracts since before the pandemic. And think about everything that they've been exposed to. I mean, these are a great example of frontline workers,
a great
right?
Reminder.
Who did obviously work in these tiny little spaces during the pandemic. So
with increased violence,
exactly,
and drinking and bad behavior aboard these flights. Good
exactly.
reminder.
So next week we'll get a mediator, a federal mediator, who will try to sort this out between American and the flight attendants. If that doesn't actually work, then we could see a strike. But a strike for flight attendants, not that common. Exactly. So I think the last one was in 2010, and that was actually Spirit Airlines pilots, not the attendants.
Yeah, I can't even recall the last one. And that lends credence to the idea that the administration would have to get involved at some point to prevent this, in particular because you've got United and Alaska. Will they intervene on mediation? One would assume.
And because it's as we start the busy summer travel season, can you imagine not being able to catch that flight that you booked for a very expensive vacation? The federal government, I'm sure, would be hearing something about that as well.
Yeah, and to the point that Americans underperform their rivals, they're under a lot of pressure, and the flight attendants are aware of that.